Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to this week's training. Today we're going to go over due diligence with your wholesale deals to make sure you're not spinning your tires and wasting time with any bad deals. Okay, the first step in evaluating a good wholesale deal is going to be to gather all the critical information about the property. So first you're going to look at the seller's situation. And easy sign of any bad wholesale deal is going to be a lack of a motivated seller. We talked about motivated sellers before, and actually finding a truly motivated seller, the lack of that is going to throw your deal away, because the main people that we're focusing on are people that are motivated to move their property, and that's why we're going to get it at a discount, because they need to move it quickly for a number of reasons. Could be foreclosure, divorce, whatever. So a seller that's not motivated is pretty much going to kill almost every deal, no matter how profitable it might be. Because if they have no reason to sell, they have no reason to give you a deeply discounted rate. So going to quickly weed those sellers out from your list when you're looking for people. So you want to be able to determine their level of motivation. So when you first get a hold of them and you may not be able to, on the first call, some people are going to be embarrassed about it because, if they're going through divorce, foreclosure, lost their job, they're behind on payments, underwater on their property, whatever the situation may be. You just got to kind of give the same feedback that they're giving you. And you want to find out, hey, why do you want to sell your property? What's your reason you're moving? Kind of find out a little bit about what's going on. And that's where you can kind of start. How quickly do you looking to sell the property? Oh, 30 days. Okay, you mind if I ask why is that? Because that's going to be important too. What are your plans if the property doesn't sell? A lot of people, they've got a lot going on. They may not even think that. You know what? I never thought about that. We were going to put it on the market. We just assumed it was going to sell. So that's something you need to, bring that up too. And when it comes down to it, kind of reminding them, put that back in their head when you offer them kind of a lowball deal, 70%, somewhere around that area. When they come back, they may say, you know what, we need to make sure this gets sold. And what I always tell my people, put a contingency in there. If you find a better deal within the next 30 days, a written cash offer, I'll release you from the contract. But you need to get that under contract if you only got 30 days so you can market it out to your buyers to get that process started. So if you're looking at a deal and you don't have a truly motivated seller, it's probably not going to be a good deal, especially if you don't have a high ARV on the property. There's no real reason to even dig into it. So what you can do kind of as a last ditch effort is you can make a very low ball offer, maybe offer them 60%. And then over the phone, maybe there's something they're not telling you. Like I said, remember, maybe they're embarrassed. They're going through a difficult time, whatever their current situation might be. So, just go into it. If they're, being real caught up about it, just reach out and give them that little offer and see what they say. They may come back and say, yep, I got to have this one today. 65, you can have it, 65% of what it's worth. Just take it, get it off my hands. They had a bad day. I've talked to people that they've just had a bad day, they're stuck with it, they're sick, and they just want to get rid of it. They don't want to deal with it anymore. And then, just go for it. All they can do is say no. It's also important to know the current status situation of the property, whether it's owner-occupied, if it's vacant, if it's a rental property. That's going to provide some insight, a little bit better information about their motivation and their level of that motivation. If the owner still lives there, raise their children there, whatever, that's what we call a home. We're selling houses, that may be their home. So there's going to have some emotional attachment there. So that's a big difference there, having that emotional attachment. Oh, well, it's worth this much because I raised my kids here. To the buyer, to anybody else, it's not going to matter. It's the brick and the mortar that's what it's worth, is what you're selling. So you just have to kind of keep that in mind too. A vacant house is going to be ideal for wholesale for two reasons. One is going to be there's no one living there, so it's a lot easier to access. You might have a lockbox on the front. Anybody can drive by, schedule a showing, text somebody the number, whatever, get them in. And also, there could be signs of a distressed seller. So if there's no one living there, there's a lot more motivation to sell it. Maybe it's an out-of-state investor. They have a property, they want to get rid of it. They may not even know, the situation that it's in. And if it's a rental property somebody has, nobody's living in there, if they're losing money. If somebody's had to move out of state for another job, now they've got this house here they're trying to sell, they can't get rid of it. An empty house is just generally not going to be good. So that's good for us, as a way to come in there as a wholesaler and scoop that deal up. So if the property is currently rented, it's important to gather as much information you can about the rental property. So you can things like what we call rent roll, which is going to be how many people are in there, how many tenants do they have, what's the rent that they have, what kind of terms do they have on the lease, do they pay for sewer, electricity, water, gas, trash, what all do they pay for, what else included. So all that stuff is probably going to be whoever the seller is going to sell that package basically to the buyer. So they're going to inherit all those rents and everything. Of course, when January comes around, if the rent in the area is not great, you might want to raise that so it's even with the market rent. So you can have some value add there as well. So that's important just to kind of know that information, to be educated on what's going on with that situation. And it can help too if you're selling to a seller that's going to rent the house out. If they're not doing a flip, they may want to, add some value to it and then have a renter. They've already got tenants in there, so that's great for them. So with that, a quick tip, an easy way to ensure the information they gave you is correct is to get what we call a property card. And you can get one of those from city records, just a public record that they may have. It's going to include the ownership, any improvements that have been done to the property. And it kind of ensures that there's no discrepancy between your agent, if you're going through a realtor or broker, and then the seller, if you're working directly with them, just so whatever they've told you, you've kind of got a backup to show, that's true. They're not trying to sneak something by you. And then you can also give that to your buyer too to let them know, this is what they said, this is the information I have, everything lines up. Another important factor for a deal can possibly be equity. And the equity, of course, is the value of the mortgage property after the deduction of the charges against it. So, for example, if they have a $100,000 mortgage, they bought a $100,000 house, and they've paid $55,000 of it off already. So they have $55,000 of equity in that property, and they still owe $45,000. So if you give them an offer of $35,000, that's not even enough for them to pay off their current mortgage. So they're probably not going to take that. But if you give them the 45 that they're missing, they can be cleared out. So if their property's underwater, you can pay off the rest of their mortgage. Sometimes you can do what we call assuming that mortgage, where you give them nothing for the house, but you'll take over their payments on the mortgage. So you're getting a house for $45,000, but if they're in debt and they're it may be a good deal for them just to get it out of there, get stop the foreclosure, so they don't have the foreclosure on their record. They don't have to keep making payments on it. Again, that goes back to the truly motivation, and find out as much as you can about them and what their situation is. If they want to keep that foreclosure off their record and then keep a bankruptcy off their record, they may just want to, if they can cut even and break it off, that may just be great for them. So a couple great questions to kind of figure out a little bit about equity and a little background information. You want to ask things like, how much do you owe on the property currently? Are you behind on the payments? Are you current on your payments? If you're behind, how many months behind are you? And are there any other liens on the property, tax liens, things like that? Or do you have a second mortgage, maybe a third mortgage? That's very important to know too. So if there's little or no equity in the deal, and the seller's maybe if they're behind on payments, it may not necessarily kill the deal. Another option you can do to create some equity is negotiate a short sale with the bank if they're going through foreclosure or re-foreclosure. We'll go over short sales in another video, possibly another series on that. So remember that when you're wholesaling, there needs to be enough value for you, not only to get the property low enough that you can make your fee, but it also has to be enough meat on the bone for the buyer to be able to make some profit on it too. Another part of your due diligence is going to be your ARV value. And we talk about ARV a lot. You want to make sure that's going to be high enough. And because evaluating your real estate accurately is going to be the foundation of success for any wholesaler. And it can be a make or break moment for a lot of your deals. When you're assessing your ARV of a potential deal, it's important that you use comps, comparable sales in the area, to find out how much potential the deal really has. So for this, we're going to directly compare the property you're looking at against, I like to do 3 recent sales in the area, properties that have actually sold within the last couple months, the same zip code, similar house, same type of siding, same number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, square footage, to be the same zip code, and 3 houses that have sold recently and that are currently on the market that are selling. So We'll go over finding ARV in the next video. So typically we like to look about 70% of ARV. So if a house is going to be worth $100,000, our maximum offer is going to be $70,000. So then that's what kind of allows you to quickly calculate the minimum you can pay for a property. And remember, with your ARV is your after repaired value. So you're determining what the property is going to be worth once the rehab is complete. So after the value has already been added into the property, this is not the same as estimating the property in its current condition, like an appraiser would do. So as a wholesaler, you have to show your buyer that they can make a profit from the deal after the rehab is complete. So with that in mind, the most due diligence when wholesaling a deal is going to be with the comps and the ARV. Remember to always require written bids from a licensed contractor and get a clear scope of work. So that's going to help you get your ARV when you find out, kind of work backwards, like we said in our wholesaling intro video, that this is where the sale price is going to be. The ARV is going to be around $100,000. It needs $20,000 worth of work, so that puts you about $80,000. And then there's $10,000 of leeway in there. If you can offer it for $70,000, if they say no, we'll do $75,000. Okay, do $75,000. And then you got $5,000 of profit, between you and the buyer. So if you take $1,000 fee, that's only $4,000. That's probably not going to be enough for a good wholesale deal. That's just real quick math that you can do in your head when you're looking through deals. That you may find if someone sends them to you, you're looking through them online. It's a really easy way. If it looks like a decent deal, talk to your contractor and see, get a written deal. Because that's important. You can take that written bid and that scope of work right to your buyer and show them, hey, this is real numbers here. That's not just something I made up. I always get my own comps when I go through online, and I actually go on Zillow and I'll actually take a screenshot of the comp and I'll put it in my property flyer. If you're getting comps from a realtor or a broker, which is fine, I've done that before, get those in writing too. A lot of times they'll send you screenshots of the deal. That's going to help you substantiate your ARV. And I always recommend double checking those. Because a lot of people, I've had people send me stuff. Well, this is what it should be worth. That's a different zip code. That's 2 cities away. That's not a good comp. That's not what that's going to be worth when the deal's over with. If you can, try to never pay a non-refundable fee. Again, the whole reason we're doing wholesaling is we don't have a lot of startup capital, or we're trying not to use any startup capital. So if we go into a deal, one of the first deals that we did is we worked with the HUD House and Housing and Urban Development. And they required a $500 down deposit just to put an offer on it. And we ended up doing that deal, and it worked out. It was a great deal. But if you can avoid those non-refundable fees, try to do that. Because if that deal hadn't worked out, we would have been out $500. A lot of deals you can do they require earnest money. A lot of people think that that's a requirement. A legally binding contract, I could see you at a restaurant and write down a contract on a napkin and we could sign it, and that will hold up in court. So there's no earnest money that's required. Some people put down $10, $100. You can put down $1. I put down $1 on a lot of deals just because gives me some skin in the game or whatever. It's something some people, you got to put down. I know you don't have to. They may ask for it, they may require it, but if you got it, you can put it down, but make sure that make it refundable. If the deal doesn't go through, I'll put $500 down. Put it under contract. But if I can't find a buyer, I get that money back. So just kind of make sure that that's in there. If it's a great deal and you're 100% sure, make sure it's an amount that you're okay with losing. Another pro tip: always correspond via email. If I have a big conversation with somebody over the phone, which is great, it's a lot faster over the phone. Emails, you can't really tell voice inflection and things like that. Emotions not really there. But if we have a good conversation over the phone, I'll send them a correspondence over email, just a follow-up recap. Hey, it was great talking to you today. Just wanted to follow up. This is what we talked about. Quick recap, and here's what's going on, and here's the bullet points, and this is what's going to happen this week. It may not be a big deal, but there's a written record there. So if there's some kind of suit that comes up, misrepresentation or anything like that, you've got written record that has been corresponded to both sides. So at the end of the day, wholesaling is not some get rich quick scheme. It's a marathon for sure, but it's definitely, these are your first steps to the path to achieving financial freedom. Quit your job. With some hard work, planning, some time, definitely energy and resources, you too can find this first wholesale deal to get you started in wholesaling and get you moved into passive income if you're looking to buy rentals, or you're making money every month not doing anything, or flipping in houses, making big chunks of cash, or you might want to get into multifamilies, apartment complexes, or commercial buildings, own malls, mobile home parks. Possibilities are endless. All right, guys, let me know what you think. I'll respond to the first 1,000 comments on this one again. If you got any questions or feedback, please feel free to write them below. Give me some comments. Hit the like video if you learned anything. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss next free trading video. Thanks.